This is so stupid. Okay, here we go. Got my little fuzzy mic here. That probably gave some weird audio. We got it. All right, today we're going to try to power through a few things, which will be cool to see. And one of the things that sets our Cayenne apart from a lot of the other Cayennes is that we really wanted to get as aggressive and wild with the suspension as we could. And so we've kind of exploded it out so that we can show what we did here. What I started with first is I wanted to have the mount points on the lower control arm be stock, in the stock location. So they stayed on the subframe that holds the engine cradle and everything else. And that, we basically just built 3/16 chromoly plate. Again, I'll continue to talk about my buddy Patrick because he gave up a lot of time and a lot of energy and money to be here all the time. And so he was here when we first laid that out. What you'll see in this video is version 3, but version 1, we first laid out with stock mount points and just kind of built the plate and the shape and what we wanted. So that's our lower control arm. It's all intergusseted, it's all plated. Most of the areas that are critical have double plates, so 2 plates of the 3/16 chromoly 4130. And then you'll see too, if you followed from the beginning, at the beginning of this build process, version 1 that Pat and I did was shape and what we wanted, and we had planned to only do rear wheel drive. That was the goal, and I still have that as a massive goal for me, but we'll talk about it a little bit more as we go. We'll probably do like a question and answer or something, and we'll talk about all of the things that we ran into through the whole process getting us to that first race, because that was the first goal. But going into the first race, we wanted it to be 2-wheel drive, and so I was told by a bunch of Porsche people, a lot of the 911 guys, that if you just take out the front axles and the diff will be smart enough to send all the power to the back. So we did that first. It did not work. Oh, it didn't work, and it took so long. So what you're gonna see on this video tonight is the suspension. Now we're running 8-inch King coilover and triple bypass, both 8-inch stroke, of course, but they were really close together, and now they are spread out because we've gone back to an all-wheel drive setup. In the first race, we got stuck in the dirt. Before we realized we were broke, we got stuck. We had to pull over because there was an accident, and in that process, Pat and I found that we were stuck, and then that's when we realized that the front end had broken. Not our part that broke, though. That was a Porsche part. It broke right here. So, lower control arm, we built that. We were using the stock uprights originally, and so we built upper control arm, lower control arm, and then all of the mounting for our shocks and our coilover. But we quickly learned in that first race at mile 21 that we did not have strong enough uprights, and so in that process of figuring it out and fighting with the computers, because these cars have tons of computers that want to help them be better off-road, and so all of the computers fought us a lot. And so we are back to 4-wheel drive now. You'll see in some of the beauty shots that we take that there is not a front axle in it right now, because we're going to do 934 CVs, so really beefy, strong CV joints, and chromoly sleeved axles and all the good stuff for the front end. So it'll be really strong and tough. So The upper control arm, also chromoly, double plated, 1/8 inch on the top, 3/16 on the bottom, and then we overlapped everything. Anywhere where there was a junction point, we overlapped it. Anywhere where there was something that was going to be under more stress, it's double plated. And then it's of course Heim joint, so it's all adjustable, and we're able to, you know, get our alignment really true and dialed in. So we have our shock and our bypass shock and our coilover spread out nice. Then I did a shock hoop that you'll see in the photos to give us a mount point, and then to tie in the subframe that comes up over almost where the fender is. We've tied in with 1.5" chromoly tubing, 120 wall to tie all of this together and hopefully even out some of that pressure that the front end is under when it's in compression. So trying to kind of push out that energy and get it into the unibody as much as possible, not relying on the areas where the suspension mounts. With it being unibody, we took the 3/16 plate and plate strengthened all of the unibody points. So anywhere where we could, we added chromoly plate and complete welded all of that together so that we would be as strong as possible. Next thing that we're going to talk about is kind of this section here, the upright and the brake package. So the upright, as you can see, is much beefier than it was originally. We took an idea. I took scrap steel and plate and some things that way. We wanted to switch to a different bearing set, so we're on 958 bearings, which is the newest generation of Cayenne bearing. The reason we did that hub and bearing is because it's much more serviceable. It's 4 big M12s that go into the back of it that hold it together. So the original 955 hub bearing is pressed in, and it's a huge nightmare. And so we were able to mount these with the 4 bolts and then build in all of our gusseting and all of our upright to be really strong. We did 1.5" uniballs, so trophy truck uniballs, top and bottom. Then we did our steering extensions. They're beautiful little machined parts from Dirt King out of San Diego. So we did that, and then Caleb came through. We put this all together on the car. Then I sent it to him. He lives in Utah, so I sent that out, and then he put it in the computer, 3D scanned it, and made it what it is now. And then we put that all together. It is running the stock Brembos. They're big and beefy and awesome, and they've been great. Powerstop Brakes came through for us and set us up with pads and new rotors all the way around. So we've got new hubs, new rotors, new brake pads, stock calipers. And then Down South Motorsports, Sonny at Down South Motorsports. If you need anything suspension off-road at all, the guy is a legend. He knows everything, and he won't make you feel like an idiot. Because when I called him the first time, I really was like, I'm doing your Porsche, and I want it long travel, and I want to run them at 400. And he probably had an opinion. He probably was like, who is this kook that's calling me, asking me for help? But he stepped up and helped so much. Takes my phone calls whenever I need them, and is just the best. So he helped me make some decisions that were crucial, what was going to be important, what wasn't going to be important, and ultimately set us up with our shock package. So that's everything. There will be more to come once we get the axles back. That's why we're not doing a bunch of running and driving and testing and in and out drive-through runs and all of that, because those axles is what we're still waiting on, but we're really close, and I think that will change what we're doing. So in this video, we're also going to cover the wheel and tire package. Go wheel. This is an Xcomp Gladiator 37 by 13.5 on custom drilled Raceline beadlock. It's the Avenger series, if you were wondering, and we had them powder coated. I had my guy locally powder coat for me, white rings and white wheel. I thought it looked good with the green, and so we wanted to kind of give that throwback European race car vibe from the 60s, where they did a bright color on the car, and then they did white wheels. So a lot of the Italians did that, and I loved it. So that's what the design was here. Xcomp tires are epic. We've had them now in 35s and 37s. Proportionately, I always wanted to get up to 37, so we're here now. We've trimmed a ton of stuff away, and we've got the travel that we want on the 37, so I'm excited about that. And like and subscribe if you want more of this content. If you want more of this content, like and subscribe.